One of these two people is a bubbly, funky social media personality, and the other one straight up murdered their child. And got away with it. And based on these two pictures, I don't know which is which. Uh-oh.
Today I'm going to talk about one of the most hated women in America, Casey Anthony. I know this case has been talked about hundreds of times, but I got a few requests to talk about it, and just in case somebody doesn't know what happened. This is Casey Anthony, and this is her adorable daughter, Caylee Anthony. These are Casey's parents, Cindy and George. They play a big part in this case as well. Casey was born on March 19th of 1986. She lived in Orlando, Florida with her parents. Growing up, Casey lied a lot. She even lied to her parents about graduating high school. They went to the graduation just to find out that Casey was a few credits short of graduating, but somehow she turned around and blamed it on the school, and the school had messed something up. So red flag number one. Casey's parents started to notice that she was gaining weight, and they asked if she was pregnant, and Casey denied it. She even went as far as to say that she was a virgin. Then when she got to the point where she couldn't lie anymore, she confessed to them that she was in fact pregnant, which that trend seems to happen a lot in this case, of she gets to the point where she can't lie anymore. At first, Casey wanted to give the baby up for adoption, and after her mother told her that she would help her raise the baby, she decided to keep it. Caylee was born on August 9th of 2005. When Caylee was born, Casey was dating a man named Jesse Grund. Even though the timeline didn't line up for him possibly being Caylee's father, he still wanted to be the father figure in her life. He said that he loved Caylee and she was a great baby. It was later determined that Jesse wasn't Caylee's father, and Casey has stated that the father was actually someone who had passed away in a car accident, but it's never been publicly released who it is. Both Caylee and Casey were living with her parents in Orlando. But on June 16th of 2008, Casey took Caylee and left after an argument with her parents. Cindy, Caylee's grandmother, would constantly call Casey asking to talk to Caylee, but Casey always had an excuse as to why Caylee couldn't talk on the phone, like she was with the babysitter, or she was playing with a friend, or she was taking a nap. On July 15th of 2008, the Anthonys got a call that their car had been impounded. This car was Casey's car that she was driving, but it was owned by her parents. When George went to the impound lot to retrieve the car, he noticed that there was a smell of decomposition coming from the trunk of the car. There were bags of trash in the trunk, and even after the trash was removed, it still smelled. Confused as to why Casey had just left the car and it had been impounded, Cindy went on a mission to find Casey. She found Casey at her boyfriend's house smoking a little bit of Mary Jane. But Caylee wasn't with Casey. Cindy called 911 initially to report that Casey had stolen the vehicle and wanted her arrested for that. In another 911 call that Cindy placed that same day, she stated that Casey had admitted that Caylee had been missing for 31 days. In the call, Cindy said, "There's something wrong. I found my daughter's car today, and it smells like there's been a dead body in the damn car." The 911 operator was all sorts of confused and asked to speak to Casey. Part 2 of Casey Anthony. The 911 operator asked to speak to Casey, and Casey just sounded annoyed and like she didn't want to explain anything. When the operator asked Casey why she waited 31 days to report her daughter missing, Casey said that she had been looking for Caylee herself and didn't want to worry her parents. She said that her nanny had kidnapped Caylee from her. The woman she said was Zenaida Fernandez Gonzalez, or Zanny the nanny. But what was Casey really doing during those 31 days that she said she was searching for Caylee? She was participating in hot body contests at clubs. Does this look like a mother who's grieving the loss of her child and searching for her? She also thought this would be the perfect time to go get some ink, and got this tattoo, Bella Vita, which means beautiful life. Casey led investigators to an apartment where she said Zanny lived, which the apartment had been vacant for over 120 days. Casey also told investigators that Zanny babysat a man that she worked with at Universal Studios' son as well, which, spoiler alert, she didn't. She claimed that Zanny had taken Caylee on June 9th. Obviously, investigators know that something is wrong. They asked to go to Casey's office at her job. She claimed that she worked at Universal Studios, so she rode with investigators there and literally walked through the building, through all these hallways, and when she got to a dead end, when she couldn't go any farther, she turned around to the investigators and said, "I don't work here." I haven't worked here in years. It was later determined that Zenaida Hernandez Gonzalez was a real person, but she had never met Kaylee or Casey and had never been a nanny. So Casey was obviously arrested. The judge denied Casey's bail and stated that he did so because Casey had shown a woeful disregard for the welfare of her child. On July 22nd of 2008, the judge set Casey's bail at $500,000. A month after being arrested, Casey's bond was posted and she was released. In August of 2008, Roy Crunk, who was a meter reader, called 911 to report something suspicious that he had found near the Anthony's home. The first call was never responded to. He later then made a second call about the mysterious item, to which an investigator came out, searched the area, was kind of rude, said he couldn't find anything, and left. Then on December 8th of 2011, Roy called 911 again, stating he thought he had found a child's skull. They searched the area and found the remains of a small child in a trash bag. The remains had been wrapped in a Winnie the Pooh blanket and had duct tape attached to it. On December 19th of 2008, the remains were confirmed to be Kaylee's. People were pissed. Tons of people gathered outside the Anthony's house with signs and yelling things and even bringing their children there. Now, if you didn't know, in Florida, everything has to be released to the media about cases, so everybody knew everything about this and they were following it. Casey Anthony Part 3. On October 21st of 2008, Casey was indicted by the grand jury on the charges of first-degree murder of a child, aggravated child abuse, and aggravated manslaughter. 4 counts of providing false information to law enforcement. But this here is Casey's attorney, Jose Baez. He was a Casey stan from day one. He made her out to seem like the best person ever. She was just caught in a bad situation. Wanted to do everything he could to save poor Casey. Prosecutors planned to seek the death penalty in the case. 400 pieces of evidence were presented in the trial. One of them was a hair that was found in the trunk of Casey's car. The strand had root banding on it, which is consistent with hair from a dead body. Google searches that had been done on the Anthony family computer, which included neck breaking, how to make chloroform. Now, there were multiple profiles on the computer, but Cindy Anthony claimed that she had made those searches, even though it was confirmed that she was clocked in at work during this time. I feel like during all of this, and probably even now, Cindy has believed Casey. She wanted to do everything she could to help Casey. The Winnie the Pooh blanket that Kaylee was found wrapped in was confirmed to be part of a bedding set at the Anthony's home. And there was a laundry bag also found with Kaylee's remains that was sold in pairs, and the matching pair was found in their home. The prosecution alleged that Casey had used chloroform to render Kaylee unconscious and then put duct tape over her nose and mouth to suffocate her, put her in the trunk of her car for a few days, and then later disposed of her body. And she did so because she wanted to go out and party and not be a mom basically anymore. But the defense opened with the statement that Kaylee had drowned in the family pool and was found by George Anthony. Jose Baez claimed that George told Casey that she would go to jail for the rest of her life if they didn't cover this up. Jose Baez also made the bold claim that Casey had been SA by her father growing up. And this is why Casey was so good at lying, because she had been lying for her father this whole time. There's no evidence of any of this, and George has completely denied this. Casey has never even said anything about this. He also said that it was possible that Casey's father or her brother could possibly be the father of Kaylee, and had her brother Lee take a paternity test, which was negative. He even blamed Roy Crunk, the man who found the body, after calling 911 3 times, stating that Roy had moved the body. The medical examiner couldn't pinpoint the exact cause of death for Kaylee, but stated that it was a homicide. On July 5th of 2011, the jury found Casey not guilty of first-degree murder. They did find her guilty of the 4 counts of providing false information to police. People were completely outraged. This trial was almost as big as the O.J. Simpson trial. Final part of Casey Anthony. Casey was ordered to pay a fine of $217,000 and 1 year in jail, but she received 1,043 days of credit for time already served and good behavior. So she was released on July 17th of 2011. I think it's pretty clear what I think and what most people think, that Casey obviously did this and she got away with it. It's probably one of the biggest injustices in American history, and which rightfully so gives her the name the most hated woman in America. Since then, she's kind of been just doing dumb stuff. For a while, she was living and being a nanny for a member of her defense team. There was some weird rumors about her and Jose Baez. She can't get a job. She's basically broke. Can't imagine she has a good life. There's this one news report where they asked Casey what she thinks happened to her daughter, to which she just said, I don't know. I don't know. That's all she can say. By now, I'm pretty sure that a lot of you have seen the TikToks about Casey calling the police on a girl at a bar for spilling a drink on her. You can call the police instantly about someone spilling a drink on her, but can't call the police about her daughter being missing. I'm pretty sure we all have that one person we know in our life that lies about everything, and it's usually a stupid thing. But to the point of lying the way Casey does, it's just crazy. I hope that Kaylee is at peace wherever she is. Thank you for taking the time to listen to Kaylee's story. Let me know what other cases you want me to talk about in the comments.
There's something wrong. I found my daughter's car today, and it smells like there's been a dead body in the damn car. They want to talk to you. Answer the question. Hello? Hello? Yes. Hi. Well, can you tell me what's going on a little bit? I'm sorry? Can you tell me a little bit what's going on? My daughter's been missing for the last 31 days. And you know who has her? I know who has her. I've tried to contact her. I actually received a phone call today, now from a number that is no longer in service. I did get to speak to my daughter for about a minute. Okay, did you guys call and report a vehicle stolen? Yes, my mom did.
Here's part 14, and we've got some crazy ones today, so buckle up. First up, we have Warren Jeffs. He was the president of the Fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints, who was accused of repeatedly assaulting young girls as young as 8 years old in a ritualistic fashion. One of the victims came forward with her claims of what she experienced. She alleged in the lawsuit that there was a bag placed over her head, and she was relocated various times for Jeffs and other men at the beginning of just 8 years old. She also said that she was forced to watch the abuse of other girls. He had many wives and arranged marriages with girls that were as young as 12 to 15 years old. According to his page, he had around 75 to 80 wives. Many of his wives defended him in court as a sign of obedience and loyalty to him. Next, we have John Edwards. He was a former U.S. Senator who was charged with illegal campaign contributions in 2011. Investigators found that Edwards received more than $900,000 during his presidential campaign in 2008 so he could hide his mistress. He hid his mistress and their child together from the public, while in the meantime his wife Elizabeth was fighting breast cancer. In 2010, he finally admitted to the affair to the public and admitted that he fathered a daughter outside of his marriage. His statement regarding his daughter was, "It was wrong for me ever to deny that she was my daughter. Hopefully one day when she understands, she will forgive me." His wife passed from cancer later on that year, and he continued his relationship with his mistress until 2015. Next, we have Casey Anthony. This was one of the most infamous court cases in modern America, and she was arrested for allegedly killing her 2-year-old daughter Kaylee in 2008. The entire country sat on their seats fuming as she frequently changed her stories about the last days of her daughter's life. Casey reportedly had a deathly stench in her car, according to her mother, Cindy, and that's actually what made her call the police and demand Casey's arrest, where she was charged with child neglect and lying to investigators and interfering with criminal investigation. A cadaver dog actually zeroed in on the car and actually picked up stenches of human decomposition that was actually found in the car trunk and Casey's backyard. Later in 2008, she was charged with aggravated child abuse, aggravated manslaughter, and 4 counts of providing false information to law enforcement. They found in March of 2008, she used search engines to look up head injuries, chloroform, chest trauma, internal bleeding, and others. In 2011, she was unfortunately found non-guilty after 400 pieces of evidence were shown, which infuriated and shocked the entire nation to this day.